Hey everyone, welcome to another episode of Fright Friday, right here on Night Owl Video. Today I'm talking about The Witch from 2015. So we'll be talking about cast, production, critical reception, my thoughts on the film, where you can watch it, and all that jazz. This edition too, which is really cool, which I'll go over towards the end. This is a folk horror movie slash mystery from 2015. It's directed by Robert Eggers, who also did The Lighthouse, as well as The Northman. And he's also doing a remake of Nosferatu, which comes out Christmas Day this year. So that could be interesting as well. It's such a weird one. I don't know, like, will people at Christmas time want to go see Nosferatu? I think it would have been cooler at Halloween, but that's just me. We'll see. Maybe it'll be a big, breakout blockbuster thing. Not with the movie theaters nowadays, you can never tell. Would highly recommend going out and checking Red Letter Media's Death of the Cinema video that they put up recently. Really interesting conversation about how, the trends at movie theaters are changing. So it will be really interesting to see what happens with Nosferatu, but I am looking forward to that. I think it'll be really good. The Witch stars Anya Taylor-Joy, who was in Split, Glass, Last Night in Soho, The Northman, and of course, a couple of weeks ago, she made her appearance in a Mad Max movie, Furiosa. This also stars Ralph Ineson, who was in a bunch of Harry Potter movies, Ready Player One, The Northman, and he's also apparently in the new Nosferatu movie. This also stars Kate Dickie, who was in Prometheus, Star Wars The Last Jedi, and The Northman. So all three of these stars who were in The Witch are also in The Northman, which is another movie I highly recommend if you like Conan or like those kinds of movies, old like adventure type movies. Very good. The synopsis for The Witch is: in 1630 New England, panic and despair envelops a farmer, his wife, and their children when youngest son Samuel suddenly vanishes. The family blames Thomasin, the oldest daughter, who was watching the boy at the time of his disappearance. With suspicion and paranoia mounting, twin siblings Mercy and Jonas suspect Thomasin of witchcraft, testing the clan's faith, loyalty, and love to one another. Great synopsis, whoever wrote that. This film was written and directed by Robert Eggers. This is his directorial debut. It was an international co-production between the United States and Canada. That's right, we were part of it. It was a critical and financial success, grossing $40 million against a $4 million budget. So not too shabby, $36 million income on that. It was considered by some to be the best movie of the 2010s. Eggers, who lived in New Hampshire, was inspired to write the film by his childhood fascination with witches and frequent visits to the Plymouth plantation as a schoolboy. Robert Eggers wanted the set constructed to be as historically accurate as possible, and therefore brought in a thatcher and a carpenter from Virginia and Massachusetts, respectively, who had the proper experience building in the style of the film's period. Although Eggers wanted to film the picture on location in New England, a lack of tax incentives meant he had to settle for Canada. There's lots of good places to film in Canada. Actually, he filmed The Lighthouse in my home province of Nova Scotia. This proved to be something of a problem for him because he could not find the forest environment he was looking for in the country. He eventually began scouting off the map and found a suitable location, a place called Kiosk, Ontario, which was extremely remote, he said. That the nearest town made New Hampshire look like a metropolis, so pretty far out there. The casting took place in England as Eggers wanted authentic accents to represent a family newly arrived in colonial Plymouth. To give the film an authentic look, Eggers shot only with natural light, and indoors the only lighting was candles. So the critical reception, like I said, on The Witch, this film currently holds a 90% on Rotten Tomatoes. Writing for Variety magazine, Justin Chang commented that, quote, "A fiercely committed ensemble and an exquisite sense of historical detail conspire to cast a highly atmospheric spell in The Witch, a strikingly achieved tale of a mid-17th century New England family steady descent into religious hysteria and madness, unquote. I really like this movie. My thoughts on this film: super creepy atmosphere, great acting from the whole cast. Again, much like I was talking about The Wicker Man on Tuesday as part of Cult Movie Tuesday, this movie also has that very claustrophobic feel to it. You're in this cabin, in this kind of clearing in the woods, and that's basically all you see. With the exception of the beginning of the film when they're leaving the town that they were kicked out of. You're just in this cabin, and it's just this one setting. There are, of course, forays into the woods where you get to experience the mystery of the forest, but for the most part, you're just like either around that cabin or inside that cabin, and it's such a, I don't know, like unsettling, claustrophobic kind of feeling. Maybe not for everybody. I liked it, but it is kind of like a little unsettling that way. Much like I said, much like The Wicker Man, you feel like you can't escape. The scenes with the witches throughout the film are really weird and creepy. You get this really foreboding sense of isolation. But the witches in it, and I don't want to give away too much because it's not that old of a film, but it's just got such a cool, weird atmosphere to it. And I think maybe because of Egger's upbringing, that kind of plays into that creepy feel. The music is really moody. There's the goat in it, the creepy black goat or whatever. I forget what his name is, black something. The animals almost seem like they're unsettled. It's almost like they can feel like something's going on. The scenes in the woods where they're just walking and you get this sense of like, please don't go too much further. You're going to get lost and we don't know what's out there. And just the paranoia between the family members. Of course, witchcraft at that time was not cool. And so there's this, real fear of like the unknown and witchcraft and all this stuff, Satanism, and what's happening to our kids. And it is really, really unsettling. I'm trying to think of other words to describe this, but just again, like much like The Wicker Man, it's just like this really like closed in feel, and you've just got that one little opening in the forest. Yeah, it's hard to, I don't want to give away the ending because for those of you who haven't seen it, but it does, of course, have this fantastical element to it, which is like the supernatural, the witchcraft, and there's this sort of otherworldly feeling towards the end of the film. All throughout the film, it's a lot about the family dynamic and the tension and all that, but then towards the end, it sort of gets this really moody, supernatural feeling, and you start to feel a little like again, much like The Wicker Man, you start to feel a little like dreamlike, and then the ending is just so disarming and so strange and supernatural that you're just like, wow, what just happened? Really, really enjoyed this movie. I don't know if this was Anya Taylor-Joy's. It was one of her early films. She's really, really good in it, and she carries a lot of the weight in this movie, and she does a great job. The whole cast, even the little kids in the movie are very good, like acting like very childlike and like, oh, you're a witch, and it just adds to that kind of like unpleasant feeling. This edition I actually found at a Shoppers Drug Mart of all places. Maybe some of you remember years ago at Halloween, they would bring out this little standee and it would be Halloween movies. And one year I found this in the that little standee, and it was like $10. This is the steelbook of The Witch, which I was really happy to find. I still got the J card stuck to it, which I will remove right now. We'll take a look at the steelbook itself. So you got that really creepy image on the front. This is also subtitled A New England Folktale. And then on the back it says, evil takes many forms, and there's the scary goat. I don't want to be scared of goats, but yeah, they're pretty creepy in this movie. Here's the inside. We take a look. There's a hair there. This is a 2-disc set. I'll take out the discs just to see there. Oh yes, there is an image behind as well. It's the crow. Another really unsettling scene with the crow and the mother. If you've seen this movie, you know what I'm talking about. That's really disturbing. Trying to figure out how this Blu-ray goes back in, but yeah, this movie is just so good, so creepy. I think this was like a kind of a reinvigoration of the horror scene. I think when this came out, everybody was kind of floored. And then, you know, of course, he did The Lighthouse, which is also really quite terrifying in a different way, but also very scary. But this was, and I never like to use those really cliche terms, but game changer. But yeah, this was like, everybody was kind of like, whoa, you know, horror movies. And then we had Midsommar and Hereditary, and it was kind of like that elevated horror, I guess they call it. But this is more traditional horror, I think more of a folk horror tale. But yeah, really good. This is the Blu-ray DVD digital combo pack, certified fresh on Rotten Tomatoes. Bloody Disgusting says one of the best horror movies of the past decade. So easily kind of like, I watched the movie Valentine last night from the late 90s. And just watching that and seeing like how horror movies were back then, and then you move forward to like this stuff, and I'm sure Nosferatu will not be any exception, but it has gotten so much more sophisticated, whether you like that or not. Maybe you prefer the mindless slasher, but for some people, including myself, I like this kind of stuff. It's cool. It's got some depth to it. This is the back of the J card for those of you who like to look at that stuff. This is a Region A Blu-ray. It's rated 14 in Canada for frightening scenes and disturbing content. It has a runtime of 1 hour 33 minutes, so it doesn't overstay its welcome. It's a perfect length. The special features are audio commentary with director Robert Eggers, The Witches, a primal folklore, Salem panel Q&A, and design gallery. So there's lots of groovy special features on this. This is winner for Best Director at Sundance as well. So Robert Eggers won Best Director at Sundance for this. So from 2015, The Witch. You can currently rent this on Apple TV, Amazon Prime, and Google Play. And I'm probably pretty sure you can find this Blu-ray out and about or on Amazon if you do that kind of thing. But yeah, I think this was really like a crossover for the horror genre, and really like ushered in this kind of new wave of stuff. So I'm all in. And hey, listen, I like mindless slasher movies as much as the next person, but I thought The Witch was really, really good. Highly recommend this. You like witchcraft mixed with horror movies. If you like movies with like a real isolated kind of feel, great acting, there's not a lot of like, you know, excessive gore in this or anything, but there are some pretty disturbing scenes in it. Like I said, the crow with the mother, I can't even think about that part, but yeah, this is pretty cool and pretty weird. So highly recommend, go check it out. Like I said, you can currently rent this on Apple TV, Amazon Prime, and Google Play if you prefer doing that. And that's my thoughts on The Witch. Did you like this movie? Did you not like this movie? Did you think it was overrated? Leave your comments below. And that's it for me for today. Thank you so much for watching. Consider subscribing if you haven't already. And I will see you next time at the video store or the thrift store or just out and about somewhere. Hopefully not in a New England forest in the ancient times being chased by some evil witch. But until next time, take good care of yourselves, and I'll see you in the next video.